Hello world, welcome to Banks Unfiltered, where I talk about almost anything. This one will be political stuff, DemonCrats. Alright, so first off, I'm just go ahead and, as you can see, this is what I think. As an independent voter, I'm always be independent. Yeah, so I'm gonna talk trash about both sides. If I talk trash about one side more than the other, please don't have a sheeple state and think I'm the other. No, I hate that other side too. I just want to destroy that one that or talk trash a lot about the one you like the most. All right, so of course you see the same symbol, right? See the same symbol. All right, boom. This is why. You know what I'm saying? There's a hexagram on the top of Saturn and stuff, and so this is where they base that off of, and just is a little more. So yeah, Saturday is named after Saturn, but it's after Saturnus, was the Roman god of agriculture. And yeah, it's the sixth planet, but the thing I don't agree with on here is this sixth day of the week, because if you start with Monday it is, but if you start with Sunday it's not. But there is a six-sided polygon on the North Pole. The Cassini aircraft got a real good picture of it. But yeah, so this is where they get their whole little Satan worship and all that stuff. Cause Satan, or like Saturn, it's Satan's iron. You know what I'm saying? So, and then that is branched with all these other, the Thelema, which is kind of cut off of this vid, but you know. So hold on, let me see if I can scooch over a bit without messing up everything. Ooh, 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 ooh. Built. Whoa, it's like doing the Matrix. Whoa. Oh, but anyways. So yeah, it's a branch of all these. So it goes all the way to politics to me. So it's like Scottish Rite versus York Rite is what it seems like right now, though. And here's to show they all in cahoots. Oh, and then I was gonna say, forgive my security for whatever noise they might make. But let me bring it down a little bit. There we go. So shout out to Uncensored News. But yeah, here's the show. They all in the same cahoots doing this. So there's two of the previous president and then two of the previous president doing this little arm cross thing, you know what I'm saying? Which is all in some form of Satan worship or Lucifer the light bearer built that. You know what I'm saying? So they all in the same shebang bang. So and I guess shout out to Zoom wherever, because I had this wherever it is, because I hadn't had this picture for so long. I'll be forgetting where I get some of this stuff that what I be thinking about all the time. But here's one, and I might go ahead and make me one. But yeah, so these they win all the elections and they control all the cahoots, man. Both of these dudes, you know what I'm saying? Simple and plain. Ain't no, you know what I'm saying? Like, why they gonna allow somebody to vote and then that voter can get them out of their positions? Man, they ain't gonna do that. And this one over here, look, got a Jerry West face that. And so start off with Sleepy Joe Beijing Biden. So here they are honoring a Klansman. Here's Hillary kissing him. And then here's Bill, Joe, and Bahama. And then Bahama doing the eulogy. He's a Klansman out of West Virginia. You know what I'm saying? So that right there, I'm like, oh no. Can't be Democrat. And then of course there he is being cool with Robert Byrd right there. Mr. Cool, the cool team duo built that. And then here's to show his ties to China. These little red stripes is the three red banners for socialist or up here. The three red banners is an ideological slogan in the late 50s, which called the Chinese people to build a socialist state. And so, boom. You know what I'm saying? So there's the China ties. And then, oh yeah, him all up on the kids, you know, and all nice touchy-feely built that, you know. Back about the kids, man. You're showing your true colors too much to the public. And then right here, okay, so yeah, I got these three. I just couldn't find this reverse satanic. But then I found like another oh yeah, and then of course the symbol down here of their little campaign slogan sideways is the little Baphomet upside down star or whatever. But yeah, these ciphers, but I found some other ciphers to go with it. So yeah, with the market beast and President Biden. So yeah, I got these 6, these 2 little French. I couldn't find a reverse satanic. But then yeah, but then they go along with the mark of the beast, you know, same 6 ones. I'm like, okay, I got a little razzle dazzle, but y'all ain't fooling me. Y'all fooling them sheeple out there, but y'all ain't fooling me though. And then here just goes some funny audio of how just how Joe Biden be sounding. So it's one part on how he responds to deportations in a trash way, the way he cut his own, another part of how he just cut his own time, like he knew he was talking trash or just talking BS and it wasn't going nowhere, and he cut his own self off. And then they asked him like what to do on slavery repair, and he just didn't even answer that at all. It was funny. And then just some throwbacks of him talking about 5 years for jail for crack with no probation, and you know, just him being throwed off.
Served as vice president in an administration that deported 3 million people, the most ever in U.S. history. Are you prepared to say tonight that you and President Obama made a mistake about deportations? Why should Latinos trust you?
This is the president who came along with the DACA program. No one had ever done that before. This is the president who sent a legislation to the desk saying he wants to find a pathway for the 11 million undocumented in the United States of America.
Yeah, but you didn't answer the question.
Well,
did you make a mistake with those deportations?
The president did the best thing that was able to be done at the
time. How about you?
I'm the vice president of the United States.
See right there, he just kind of like circled around, didn't answer it, to where he had to come back, and you didn't answer it, like, you know, stuff like that. It's like, dog, these politicians is all fluke because they can't, I don't know, they can't answer simple questions.
The guy that extended the Voting Rights Act for 25 years. We got to the place where we got 98 out of 98 votes in the United States Senate doing it. I've also argued very strongly that we in fact deal with the notion of denying people access to the ballot box. I agree that everybody once they in fact anyway, my time's up. I'm sorry.
Anyway, my time's up. Bill.
And talk to you about inequality in schools and race. In a conversation about how to deal with segregation in schools back in 1975, you told a reporter, "I don't feel responsible for the sins of my father and grandfather. I feel responsible for what the situation is today, for the sins of my own generation, and I'll be damned if I feel responsible to pay for what happened 300 years ago." You said that some 40 years ago. But as you stand here tonight, what responsibility do you think that Americans need to take to repair the legacy of slavery in our country?
Well, they have to deal with look, there is institutional segregation in this country. And from the time I got involved, I started dealing with that. Redlining, banks, making sure that we are in a position where, look, talk about education. I propose that what we take is those very poor schools, the Title I schools, triple the amount of money we spend, from 15 to 45 billion a year. Give every single teacher a raise, an equal raise of getting out the $60,000 level. Number two, make sure that we bring in to help the teachers deal with the problems that come from home. The problems that come from home, we have one school psychologist for every 1,500 kids in America today. It's crazy. The teachers are, and I'm married to a teacher. My deceased wife is a teacher. They have every problem coming to them. We have to make sure that every single child does in fact have 3, 4, and 5-year-olds go to school, not daycare, school. We bring social workers into homes and parents to help them deal with how to raise their children. It's not that they don't want to help, they don't know quite what to do. Play the radio, make sure the television, make sure you have the record player on at night, the phone, make sure the kids hear words. A kid coming from a very poor school, or a very poor background, will hear 4 million words fewer spoken by the time they get there. There's so much I'm going to go like the rest of them do, twice over, okay? Because here's the deal. The deal is that we've got this a little backwards. And by the way, in Venezuela, we should be allowing people to come here from Venezuela. I know Maduro. I've confronted Maduro. Number two, you talk about the need to do something in Latin America. I'm the guy that came up with $740 million.
I confronted Maduro.
Those three countries, in fact, change their system so people don't have a chance to leave. You're all acting like we just discovered this yesterday.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Secretary.
If you have a piece of crack cocaine no bigger than this quarter that I'm holding in my hand, 1 quarter is $1. We passed a law through the leadership of Senator Thurmond and myself and others, a law that says if you're caught with that, you go to jail for 5 years.
Yeah.
You get no probation. You get nothing other than 5 years in jail. Judge doesn't have a choice. Now, the fact of the matter is, we've gone from there all the way up to saying, under the leadership of Senator Thurmond, and I'd like to suggest that I take some small credit for it myself as well, and others, the presiding officer, that there is now a death penalty. And we passed it a couple years ago. If you are a major drug dealer involved in the trafficking of drugs and murder results in your activities, you go to death. Every major crime bill that's come out of this Congress has had the name Joe Biden on that bill. We do everything but hang people for jaywalking in this bill.
But I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black, poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
Man, that boy trash. And this was just funny.
An effective strategy to mobilize true international effort to pressure. I'll lead an effective strategy to mobilize true international effort to pressure. I'll lead an effective strategy to mobilize true international effort to pressure.
Bill. Alright, yeah, so this one is garbage to me too. One of my things is, what's that second book? You double hand book building bit, putting bit motherfucker. Alright, so here go one of the things when they asked her, why when you broke down how Biden is a racist, that you became his running mate. It was a debate. Well, first of all, bitch, that wasn't even funny, But, okay, so here we go on this one. So, didn't do anything to fix this broken system as prosecutor. Locked up people for Mary Jane, blocked evidence from a man on death row until higher-ups forced her to unblock it. Kept people locked up past their original sentence for cheap labor out of the deal. Built that. As Attorney General, she was garbage. When hit with the facts of how trash she was at her last job, her response was weak, whack, and garbage. When she ran against Ron Gold in 2014, he was for Mary Jane, she wasn't. Her prosecuting ways were weak, whack, and garbage. Prosecuting parents for truancy, built that. Didn't lock up any child-harming priests. And so, yeah. Between 2004 and 2011, as San Francisco Attorney General, she didn't prosecute a single case of sexual abuse involving Roman Catholic pedo priests. During 2004 and 2011, the 50 major U.S. states at least prosecuted one case against a pedo priest. Except for Cam Harris, she prosecuted 0. Her predecessor, Terrence Holloman, or the one person that had the job before her, gave her hundreds of eternal Catholic documents with 40 current or recent priests who have been charged by parishioners with molestation. Holloman was using them to build criminal cases and was planning on exposing after redacting the names of the victims. Cam made all that disappear, and the people who financed her campaign were law firms that were linked up with the Roman Catholic pedo priests. So she's a puppet on the string, been trash, super garbage, very, very trash to me, but I understand how her coloredness can fool a whole lot of sheeple out there. And then I also go in on Bahama. Of course, he's drinking with a dude that committed suicide. I wonder if he told him something, you know what I'm saying, to make him want to go that route. But then here he is with the Aleister Crowley shirt on, and then I just showed that little cross arm Masonic handheld and stuff. So, boom, Aleister Crowley shirt. But I'm gonna go over a few treasonous things, or just garbage things that I wrote down of this guy, because I donated a lot to his campaign back in the day when I had disposable income. So I feel like I'm in a extra class by myself when I talk trash about this compared to people who didn't donate nothing to his campaign. But anyways, okay, so the Flint, Michigan thing. So Flint, Michigan, they had to switch the way they do water and gave them poisonous water. Car companies show up and that water was messing up their car parts, so they allowed the car part people to get back to the fresh water, but kept Flint with dirty water. He show up, they give him a little bit of the dirty water, he take like baby sips and say, no, it's fine, your baby's okay with, pretty much saying your baby's okay with being in this poison water based environment. So keep on with this poison water, y'all. And for people to just like sweep that under the rug, I'm like, dog, that should be like one of the main things why people don't like them. Like, but sheep will be sheep. But let me see. Supported Bush's unconstitutional Patriot Act. Let me see. Defended Bush's administration of unconstitutional, unwarranted uses of GPS devices tracking my. Let me see. Agrees with Bush's support of unconstitutional indefinite detention of U.S. citizens without filing any charges. Had 4 U.S. citizens killed without judicial process. Let me see. Had a Freedom of Information Act record worse than Bush's. So, yeah, there's that. And then, man, I just had one of my things with him and Kamala is they don't have no African American black ties to me. So first off, nothing. Him and Kamala's mama ain't black, and that has at least some feeling for me because my mama's black. So then, with their dads being African, but not, Kamala's is Jamaican and his dad, I believe, is Kenyan. With neither one of them being African American slave descendant blacks, like to me, if you're gonna be in policy and doing stuff and they're gonna be calling you black, I would at least one of them. Because also with the mom, I feel like you're more your mom rather than this whole sheeple like programming that people agree with that you are what your daddy is. But to me, I'm like, well, at one point you and your mom are one, and then the next point y'all share an umbilical cord. Then the next point, her nipples are made for you and not for, your daddy. What are your daddy's nipples for? So I feel like every human is like 55% mom and then 45% their dad. So for me, since both of mine are black, then I'm 100% black. But since their dads are black, then they're 45% black. So they're colored. And then with their dad not having African American slave descendant ties. And then on top of that, they both went to high school in Canada. So I'm sure they went out to Canada to get some extra programming about how to fool sheeple blacks in this country before they, came back to this country whenever they did, and just got plugged in these little positions to fool the sheeple masses now. But yeah, it's one of my things with both of them when they keep on saying, "Oh, the first black," and I'm like, kind of black, not, and then like they ain't done nothing. I just ran down some things that they both did that was trash. So I don't care what color they are. You know what I'm saying? But if we are gonna go into the color, I'm gonna be like, well, one, they mamas ain't really went through what black mamas go through, and two, they daddies ain't went through what slave descendants on this country went through. So, I guess, but they got. Let me see. And then it was crazy. 2 times this dude had called Michelle Michael on 2 occasions. So one on the Bear Grylls Man vs. Wild episode, and then 2 at some kind of meeting. I guess he was honoring some kind of veteran or something. There was a lot of Army and Navy and Air Force admirals and stuff in the background, and he accidentally said called Michelle Michael. And to where then I was wondering, one, are there any pics of Michelle being prego? Cause right here, man, they never looked like Bahama and Michael or Michelle, if that's what y'all want to call her. But can y'all send me any pics of when she was pregnant with with both of them, like the early ones, and then like the first kid and the second one? Cause they never looked like their parents to me, to where they look more like these 2 over here. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, that's one thing I always wonder. Like, did they pull off like a fluke? And then here go a funny thing. It might not be true, or it might be true. Who knows? It's from what is that? Fake post. At least that's what they say right there. So this one might be fake. Yeah, so they lent their kids to cover up the inability to have children. I'm like, well, I mean, even if it ain't like their parents, they don't look like Bahama and Michelle to me. And this is why I was thinking they didn't have can't find no pics of a prego. So on the Ellen DeGeneres, like what is that, man? Like, whatever it is, I just want to know what it is. Or what do you think it is? You know what I'm saying? Because this is Michelle on the Ellen, and they dancing to one of, I think, Mars Bruno's jams. And I'm like, what is that? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are the pants and this kind of, like, what you get, what the? And I'm like, is this one of them tell you the truth right in your face, but not, like, straight up in your face? Like, what is in it? That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm like, well, show me some pictures of when she was pregnant. Look, what? Why are your pants doing that? What the Get the I'm like, dog. So, is that why he called her Michelle? I mean, Michael 2 times on accident? Is that why I can't find no pregnant pictures of Michelle? Is that why those 2 kids don't look like their parents? Or more so, is that why Joan Rivers got murked? Because she had said that Bahama was homosexual and that Michelle was transgender. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. Or just send me those pics so then I can be like, oh, never mind, y'all. Here are the pics of when she was pregnant. You know what I'm saying? But Joan Rivers' death to me was just kind of, there be like some truth in some of these celebrity deaths, man. And then I don't know if y'all know about that Larry Sinclair stuff, but allegedly Bahama was out doing the hippity-dippity and doing some bad drugs out here in these streets, allegedly. But yeah, this is Larry Sinclair. I don't know if they ever sued him or did any lawsuits about this, but here we go.
Mr. Multani said he knew someone who was a friend of his. On November 6, 1999, after picking me up at the hotel in Gurney, and this is significant, Mr. Multani used his cell phone to make a call. That call was made to then Illinois State Senator Barack Obama to set up an introduction between myself and Senator Obama. Upon arriving at the bar and exiting the limo, Senator Obama was standing next to Mr. Multani, and I was introduced to Senator Obama by name. Later that evening in a bar which I believe was called Alibis, and I state believe because I have failed so far to get Citigroup to provide the credit card receipts that has the actual name. I mentioned I could use a line or 2 to wake up. Senator Obama asked me if I was referring to Coke, and I stated I was. After stating I was, Obama stated he could purchase cocaine for me and then made a telephone call. This too is significant from his cell phone to a presently unknown individual, during which Senator Obama arranged the cocaine purchase. Senator Obama and I then departed the bar in my limousine and proceeded to an unknown location where Senator Obama exited the limousine with $250, which was provided to him by me. Returned a short while later with an 8-ball of cocaine, which he gave to me. I did ingest a couple of lines of cocaine, and shortly thereafter, Senator Obama produced a glass cylinder pipe and packet of crack cocaine from his pocket. Obama then smoked the crack cocaine. I performed fellatio on Senator Obama in the limousine during the time Senator Obama was smoking crack cocaine, after which I had the driver take me to my hotel, the Comfort Suites, Gurnee, Illinois. The following day, November 7th, 1999, Senator Obama appeared at my hotel room, unannounced, uninvited, where we again ingested cocaine and I again performed fellatio on Senator Obama.
Bill, so allegedly that boy done showed back up unannounced on them boy. Bill. But let me see what else we got in here in these streets for these DemonCrats. Alright, just a little bit more on these DemonCrats, like a final nail in the coffin. So the DemonCrats, or Democrats, that's what y'all want to call them, founded the KKK in 1866. Fought the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments, instituted Jim Crow laws, fought the 65 Civil Rights Act, and here's a little history that they never taught y'all.
The Republican Party in Texas was started on the 4th of July, 1867 in Houston, Texas, by 150 blacks and 20 whites. It was that way across the South. The Republican parties were started in the South by African Americans. In the state of Texas, 2 of our first 3 statewide Republican chairmen were African American. The first 42 black legislators elected in Texas were all Republican. The first 112 black legislators elected in Mississippi were all Republican. The first 190 black legislators elected in South Carolina were all Republican. The first 41 in Georgia, the first 127 in Louisiana. So now you've got all these African Americans really stepping up and starting to gain political standing, political power. Now, you have Democrats on the other side who have been very racist. It's in their platforms. They support the Dred Scott decision. They think the fugitive slave law is great. They started a nation to keep slavery alive. Very racist. And so now they're facing a situation where these blacks are now their rulers, are now in office, are now U.S. senators, are now U.S. How do you stop that? 1866, Democrats themselves started the Ku Klux Klan. Its purpose was not to kill blacks. Its purpose was to take control and return Democrats to power. Their stated purpose in the KKK was to stop Republicans and restore Democratic control. Now, if you're looking for a Republican that you want to take care of, you can wipe out any black you want because they're 100% Republicans at that point in time. You can't wipe out any white. I mean, some whites might be Democrats. You got to be a little more judicious when you're wiping out whites. So what happens is the Ku Klux Klan starts attacking not blacks, Republican conventions. For example, in New Orleans, in the Republican convention in Louisiana, the Klan joined with the New Orleans police, joined with the New Orleans mayor, Democrats. They attacked physically at the convention in New Orleans, Republican convention. They killed 40 blacks, killed 20 whites, they wounded 150 others. 1868, they put out a push card in South Carolina, and it listed what they call the radical members of the South Carolina legislature. The push card's about the size of a baseball card. It was put up by the Klan. Klan put it out. It had the pictures of 63 legislators that needed to be wiped out in South Carolina. 50 of those legislators were black, 13 were white. Now, they were all 63 Republican. On the back of the card, it gave you the name of each legislator so you'd know who you're trying to kill. Congress starts these hearings in this group called the Klan. And they have hearings, and so they bring in Democrat leaders that under oath from these Democrat states said, yes, the Klan belongs to our party. It's actually in Congress. 1872, the hearings, it's a 13-volume set of hearings in Congress. Unequivocally, Democrats say the Klan is ours and belongs to us. It's there to restore Democrat control in the southern states. Those guys who lived through it made it very clear. For example, one of the early black congressmen was John Roy Lynch. Another early black congressman was Richard Kane. and they're having to fight the Klan physically for their own safety. They go armed to Congress because of the Klan attacks. These guys said, if we as blacks would simply stop voting the Republican ticket, if we would agree to vote the straight Democrat ticket, all the violence against us would be stopped. In 1964, incidentally, a year that 3 of our civil rights workers were killed in Mississippi registering blacks to vote, was also the year that civil rights legislation, historic civil rights legislation, was being promoted, and President Johnson wanted to sign it, but nevertheless it was held up, bottled up in the United States Senate by Southern Democrats. And one Democrat in particular, who was the last individual to try to obstruct this legislation, was a guy named Senator Robert Byrd of West Virginia.
The same one I just showed you a while ago that Bahama did a eulogy at his funeral, and Clinton and Biden was all hand on their heart at, Hillary kissing it. So boom, like full circle. The Klan, Democratic Party, boom. And then I'm going to end it on a dude I don't like, because I think Jesse Lee Peterson's on this, and he just said something correct. I just hate when there's somebody I hate will say something that's like factual, like somebody you hate said like water's wet or dogs bark. You like, yeah, but you still garbage. So I'm going to end it on him just because he going to be on here to make y'all think I'm cool with him too. Nah, he garbage too.
Who for 14 hours and 13 minutes held the filibuster against this civil rights legislation.
Senator Robert Byrd used the nigger word 3 times on a national televised TV show. No outcry at all. Nobody said a thing, at least from the Democrat. Nope. The Black Caucus didn't say anything. The NAACP, no outcry.
He look like a little beetle, don't he? Like a face that. Alright, so I hope y'all enjoyed the video. If not, too bad, so sad, I guess. Hopefully that opened your mind up on more of some of these puppet on the strings that's trying to act like they gonna do right, or make the right policies, but really they just controlled puppet on the strings also. It's like they work with big tech companies to keep scandals quiet. They're two-faced parasites and lion dog-faced pony soldiers face. But yeah, man, y'all let me know what y'all think. Y'all be cool, keep your stress low, don't be scared of nothing, be prepared for everything. Peace.